All right. Am I frozen? Is this working? Okay.
You're frozen again. Oh
Uh,
wait, does
Um,
Rebecca want to rename herself to
Yeah,
SIYP?
I'm here.
it's fine. It's fine. We can have Rebecca's iPhone for now.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see. Leah's on the call also. Okay,
Aw.
Babu.
this would be right here. Oh.
Babu, say hi to
Okay.
mommy.
Oh,
Hey,
cute.
All right, so we have everyone, pets and members on the call with us today. Is it recording? It is recording. So, welcome to the SIYP podcast, the first episode of 2026. Hi, everyone. Hi, David. Hi, Hazel. Hi, Rebecca.
Happy
How
New
are we?
Year.
hello.
Happy New Year.
Good.
Good.
You kind
David,
of
it's
look
good
like
to
the
see you.
pictures of you look like the pictures of Jesus,
Mm.
Oh, wow.
doesn't it?
Well, David, it's good to see you. We didn't have you on the last the Christmas edition one. So if you want to start us
No,
off and tell us how was your Christmas?
actually, my Christmas was really good. My mom was just so I'm taking my mom down to Florida this winter as usual, and she goes, "We'll stay longer." And I was like, "Well, let's find out how long." So I'm staying for the 90 days, the full 3 months. So that's going to be a cool experience. And I did some research and found some local gyms there too. So I'm getting all prepared for that. And I'm also preparing for a talk I'm doing actually at the I'm doing a summit at the end of this month, and I'm recording the video, so it's an online thing. So I'm recording the video and having it on Monday. So today I'm going to complete the talk and just start memorizing it. So just so I can actually just connect with the camera, connect with the individual,
Mm.
and yeah, it's good. It's awesome. Um, what else? That's pretty much all that's been going on in my space. Oh, I this week I actually did cut back on my marijuana because I was just getting a little crazy. Um, it was weird. It was just like I never experienced that. It was basically chain smoking, and I've never done that with marijuana or joy called Santeria.
Mm.
But I'm glad that that part is over.
So did anything show up for you when you cut back on the marijuana?
Um, yeah, actually, it was. I had a little bit of a tough time actually. For a couple of days, it was tough. I actually stopped for 2 days completely,
Mm.
and the first it was just it wasn't like hard, but it was just I was tired. It was really I was very tired,
Mm.
and I just wanted to sleep. So I just allowed myself to do whatever
Mm. So was there any elements
and
from
not
the
judge myself.
and not judge yourself? Okay, yeah, I was trying to see if there was
Exactly.
any elements of the program that showed up for you.
Yeah, yeah. It's just about just just allowing whatever I need to go through to allow me to go through it, and not judging it, not just being okay with everything.
And how
I
was
actually think I
your
watched a movie.
and how was your New Year's?
New Year's, I went to Santo Daime, and that's always awesome.
What showed up for you there?
I actually don't remember.
Were you smoking the weed again? No, I'm kidding.
Did I smoke weed at Santo Daime?
Yep.
Um, Probably afterwards. But
Maybe
actually,
that's
no, no, I think I did not because I was just like, nah, I'm just cutting back here. So
hmm.
I did, yeah, I did not actually have somebody on that night.
Okay. In the few days, in the 10 days of this new year, anything showed up for you?
I've been working on that speech. And
Just a speech.
it's been tough. Yeah. So it's just like I had to figure out like because I had the thoughts in my head, like this great speech in my head, but then when I go to type it on the computer, it's just like nothing comes out. And it's
Mm.
like crap, what do I do? So then I started recording myself on my cell phone. And that actually started getting like things flowing and moving and yeah. So that it's been actually really great. So I'm gonna have it complete today
Mm.
and just really run through it, get it so I pretty much know it off by heart. And in that way I'll be able to actually connect with the audience for sure.
What I'm hearing is I'm hearing a lot of detachment from a certain way that you have to be to just more accepting and being. So there is like detachment and taking on being the best version of yourself. That's what I'm hearing.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I never even thought about that. Yeah, that's
Mm.
correct.
Yeah. And the more you give up, surrender, release, the more it's just natural.
Yes. That's probably why I didn't actually see that in my for myself
Mm.
because it was just starting to be more natural for me.
Yeah. Awesome. Anything else for you?
Sweet. Nope, I'm complete.
You're complete. Okay. Rebecca and I think we'll go
Oh,
into. Oh,
oh,
go ahead.
my gym girlfriend is back at the gym.
Wait,
The
let's
one
see.
that I
Any
get to flirt with
fireworks?
all the time.
No fireworks. Okay, but that's okay.
Yeah. No, oh no, there's fireworks. Trust me. On my side, at least. I think on her side too. It's sweet. So I'm gonna have fun with that.
Nice. Okay,
And that's it. I'm complete now.
I wanna hear more about that next week for sure. Rebecca and I will go into our share last because we have a lot of juicy things to share with all of you.
Ooh.
But Hazel, how was your Christmas and New Year, and how was everything with your brother? Tell us.
Yeah, so Christmas, it was pretty quiet and restful because I was still a little bit sick, so I was still recovering from the flu. But I did have a conversation with my brother about future possible living arrangements. And like, it's funny because before I had the conversation with him, my mind was really in the fear mode about having the conversation with him. But like I, David and I talked about it before I had the conversation with him, and he said, David said, like come from nothing, and I'm like, okay, yeah. So I did that, um, and I had the conversation with my brother, and it was really like matter of fact. There was no like drama. There was no emotions, and he just said, oh, I think I will either go to a senior's home or go to like a low income home. So,
Mm.
which is pretty much what my husband and I were thinking for ourselves. Like we'd either get like a condo or something or senior's home because getting closer to that age.
So I have a
But
quick question just for the
yeah,
listeners. When you say come from nothing, so I have an idea of what
yeah,
that means. You kind of spoke
yeah,
about coming from nothing is like no judgment, whatever. Could you elaborate a
yeah,
little bit what you mean by
yeah.
come from nothing?
So for me, it meant like not anticipating anything in the conversation, like just going and having the conversation and not letting my thoughts get ahead of me, because typically that's what my mind does. My mind will say, Leah's behind you. It's so funny.
Yeah.
My mind, she's like looking directly at the camera. Like she's listening to me also. So it
Yeah.
looked like.
No, but
Yeah,
go
so
ahead.
okay. Yeah, typically my mind when I have a conversation that I'm not wanting to do, my mind will start going through these thoughts like, oh, what's the conversation going to be like? Is it going to be bad? Is it going to be good? Is it going to be this? Is it going to be that? So coming from nothing for me means stopping all those thoughts and just dealing with what's happening in the moment, being present to the
Mm,
conversation and really hearing what he's saying and his energy, and also being aware of like my energy when I'm talking to him.
mhm.
And so that's what coming from nothing means for me.
Yeah. And what did you get out of that? Like coming from nothing and having that conversation, what showed up?
Well, I'll say like possibility, because then we could create what we want our future to look like, even if we live apart
Mm,
in the future. Um, and what he wants for his future living arrangements, and what I want for mine and my husband.
mhm,
Um, and there was also like some forgiveness there, because in the past we haven't been communicating that well,
mhm,
and there was like a healing of that, because when we were both coming from nothing, we were not taking emotions from the past conversations into the present conversation.
mhm.
So yeah, it was really nice. Yeah. And it was just really matter of fact. And it was like, there was no emotions and no drama, as I said. Yeah.
So I just have a quick curiosity question, and David and Rebecca, hop in if you have any questions also. Was there
Mhm.
anything for you going through that coming from nothingness, like any discomfort? Because for me, when it is like, really sh silence, I was gonna say shut up, but like really silencing the mind makes me
Yeah.
feel ugh, So like, was there anything there for
Oh.
you? Yeah.
Um, no, it doesn't make me feel that way. It's actually a really comfortable place to be for me,
Mm,
because normally my mind, my thoughts are always running, right? So when I'm like in that place of just being present, then I can really pay attention to what is actually happening in that moment.
hmm.
And I'm not making stories about you know what he's saying or what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's like a really, um, how to put it, really pure experience, because like you're experiencing the person as they are in that moment,
Hmm.
and then I'm experiencing myself in that moment as well, and it's like true communication.
Yeah, you created that space for even freedom and, no attachment and no judgment. You actually
Yeah.
you actually built a relationship with judgment as compared to like suppress it and hide it. You built
Hmm.
like a good connection there. Yeah, stepping into your power.
Yeah.
Anything else for
Yep.
you? What else showed up in the new year?
What else showed up in the new year? Um, my first day at work, I was so sleepy. I was like a zombie.
Hmm.
Because, waking up early again, right? I got so used to sleeping in.
Hmm.
And so when I went for my first day of work, which was like January the 5th, um, I felt really sleepy, but then I was just also dealing with how my body was reacting. And I wasn't saying, oh, it's bad that I'm sleepy. I didn't say that. I just said, okay, what do I need to do to not be sleepy? So I just had some coffee, and that helped. And I just went on with my day. So it was
Yeah.
releasing attachment to how I should show up on my first day of work.
Hmm.
And also, I'll say releasing judgment for myself too, and being gentle with myself, and forgiving my body for not being in the work routine mode.
Hmm. Hmm.
um, that's it. Yeah. That's all that showed up.
Okay, awesome. My voice is a little bit gone. And I think Rebecca and I can definitely relate to the getting back to the work routine and all of that because, like, yeah, our vacation kind of ended earlier in the week, but we're still like, my throat is gone. So I had a bad sore throat this whole week. Today
Um,
was technically my first day of work back. But anything else showed up for you, Hazel, or?
um, just like the energy of this new year, it feels really nice,
Mm,
and just looking forward to a new year, new energy.
yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely.
And Deshaun, can I mention something?
Sure.
Your throat isn't gone. Your throat's still there. You just lost your voice, or
Yeah,
you didn't lose your voice. It was just.
it's it's still here. It's still keeping my head together. Yes.
Yeah,
That's
Rebecca
your
always
that's
says
your that's your throat chakra, so that's to deal with communication.
we will get into our share about that because a lot showed up in these couple of days. But yeah, Rebecca always says like if my head was not attached to my neck, I would lose it somewhere. So uh anyways, so Rebecca's on the call with us for people that are viewing the podcast. But I would start a little bit of what showed up for me in this whole what was it, like almost 3 weeks from, well, we did a podcast in Hungary, but after Hungary, what showed up after that was, everything was set. Christmas was beautiful. We had dinner with Rebecca's family for Christmas Eve. And then Christmas Day, we met with another part of her family, like her aunt and her cousin. And, we had Rebecca cooked food. It was great. So we were dealing with all of that. And then Rebecca, you add in whatever slots, or you can unmute yourself and join in here because we went shopping and we went to Decathlon, which is like a gym sports athletic brand where with like Adidas and everything. And Rebecca is like a Nike brand fan. I'm an Adidas fan. And what ended up happening was Rebecca bought these like track pants, like sweatpants, like yeah. And they were Adidas. So we paid for it. And when we paid, there was like a self-checkout, so no human. You just scan it and put it in the bag and leave. And what we realized is there's like this anti-theft lock on clothes so that you don't steal them. And if you mess with it, it's like ink goes all over. Uh, so we noticed because Rebecca's dad was there, and Rebecca just told her dad that, there's this thing and we have to go back to the store. But we all went into overthinking and over panic because we had to leave on Saturday and Friday, which was Boxing Day, everything was closed. So we were just like, okay, we'll take it to the store. We showed them the receipt and, they removed this thing, easy peasy. But Rebecca's dad was like, no, 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 I'll fix it. And he went into full, like, I can figure this out. I'm not going to let this little thing ruin everything. Grabs a pair of scissors, tries to like open it, gets ink all over his fingers, kind of ruins the situation. And, what really showed up, and baby, unmute yourself. Join the conversation here because you were there. What really showed up is we were upset. We were angry. Everyone was like blaming. Baby, explain in your words what happened.
No, I just muted myself because I'm coughing like I'm sick really. I got sick in Mexico. Anyway, um yeah, I think it was just so funny. Like my dad always in this fixing mode, like as a dad fixing mode. And like everyone said to stop and don't do it, and he was just in front of the sink and tried to cut it or something. It was hilarious. And then my mom was a little mean, so we had to stop her to don't tell everyone that whatever my dad does, it's never going well. and I had to like I was a little pissed because it was like a 30 euro trouser. I mean, Adidas. Probably I just didn't pay enough attention because I was already embarrassed to buy an Adidas trouser. I'm sorry, guys. And I was like, okay, that's it. So maybe I kind of manifested that it's going wrong. I don't know. So like from the full judgment and being pissed went to the place when I was like, I appreciated my dad's action. So I was like, look, that it's so nice, that you try to help. I really appreciate, but please stop.
Yeah, so like that was
It was
cute.
hilarious.
Yeah,
Mm.
we had this moment where, there was just so much frustration. There was just so much like, her mom was just like Rebecca's mom was like, "Oh, but he always does this. He doesn't listen." Like what every couple does, right? The wife is always like, "Oh, but I tell him and he doesn't listen." And then the
What
father,
couple?
the old cute generation couple. So with all of that,
Mm.
Rebecca and I had to partner, and this is where we really went into partnership to hold the space to let her mom feel heard, and then also come from compassion and support to the father. Like we know that that male role is always providing and fixing and supporting the family. That's in our DNA. And so we collaborated there, and there was just other things. The money showed up, the cost. So it was really powerful how we detached and gave up the resistance and forgave. I think there was a lot of gratitude and forgiveness for both of us. Um, yeah. Anything else you want to share, Rebecca, about that situation before we move on to Mexico?
Not really the only thing that my dad also was also a little bit in fixing mode because we really tried to take it back the next day, but obviously nothing was open. And he was like, "No, no, it's okay. You can throw it away. I will, buy you a new one." And I was like, "It's not your fault that we had to take it back anyway." But obviously there is like no other trouser. I don't really care. Um, but yeah, this situation was funny. But we had um, a shit ton of this situation, so
That was just
you
one
can
of them.
continue.
Actually, I also want to say there was power in throwing the sweatpants in the trash. Like because when we were holding on to it, trying to fix it, we were attached to, we have to take it to the store. We have to prove to them we didn't steal it. We took it to like an Asian mart, and when they saw the lock, they were like, no, 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 like as if we were thieves. So we just took it and we threw it in the trash, and there was power. Like we both felt like we cut off the power that we were giving it. So that was huge.
It was it was really a pineapple topic
The,
and like money.
yeah,
And I just didn't want to take care of this thing more. I was like, I don't want to give power money to money or whatever feelings. I don't want to ruin my holiday. So just let it go.
it was literal detachment. So then anyway, after that,
Yes.
we get ready for our flight, we go to the airport, and so we also created another thing on this trip where when we travel, we become unbearable. So we've now created something where we just understand that the stress of travel is the stress of travel. So whatever emotions show up, we're like, okay. But it literally took us 2 days before the end of our trip to come to this conclusion. It would have been nice if we came up with it during, but we weren't in the state of mind. We wanted to kill each other. But then, like, what happened is while we were going to Cancun, I kept telling Rebecca, I was like, I would love to take you to Amsterdam. I would love to show you Amsterdam. Maybe we could get high in Amsterdam, all of these things. And then what ended up happening was we had to do Budapest, Vienna, Amsterdam, Amsterdam, Cancun. And Rebecca always like she does it with the cutest of intentions, but she's, just really panicked or the stress of travel, where she kept saying, "What if we miss our flight? What if we get delayed? What are we gonna do?" Blah blah blah.
But if they lose my baggage, I
What if
also
they
said
lose?
that when
Yeah,
I checked in.
what if they lose the bag? Long and behold, we get to Amsterdam, they lose her bag, and we had to get rebooked for the next day. So we manifested losing the bag, staying in Amsterdam, getting high in Amsterdam, which let me get to that story. So, while we were trying to figure out the bag, trying to figure out the rebooking, trying to figure out everything. By the way, this is not a sponsor for Booking.com. We're not paid to say this, but Booking.com was super helpful. We really saw gratitude in them rebooking us for the next flight on the 28th, like the day after. They were super helpful with everything, so not sponsored. But then, then when we booked the flight for the next day, Rebecca actually says, like, babe, let's get high. All this stress and everything, let's get high. So we go into town that evening and we decide to have a brownie, a brownie cookie. And it was like 10 euro each. So we got two because I'm just like, yeah, it's not going to hit us. It's not going to be strong. Rebecca kept asking me, she was like, babe, the only thing is I don't want you to lose your mind. I don't want you to be like irresponsible. And I'm like, look, worry about yourself. I'll be fine. And while we buy the cookie, the guy tells us, like, this, if this is your first time, nothing's gonna happen for an hour, but then it's gonna hit you in an hour. We're like, yeah, okay. So we have half a cookie. I give her the bigger piece. And literally an hour in, we're fine. We go by the red light district. We see like these shows outside by the window. They were like live porn shows and everything. It was hilarious, and we're like laughing at this point. We're just having fun. But Rebecca kept saying, "Oh, I don't feel anything. I don't feel any effect." Then we go have waffles, and while we're having waffles, I start feeling like really hot. Like I start like it hits me. And Rebecca's fine. Like she finishes her waffles. She's having some of my waffles. Like she's good. And I'm like, how the heck is she fine? Like, how is she okay? Why am I dying? And then I just tell her, I'm like, babe, look, we have to get a cab. We have to go home. And she's like, why? I'm like, I'm fucked. I can't. Like, I need to go. And then Rebecca like goes from happy to okay. Fine. We need to like get a cab, so like we need to do this. And then like she starts panicking a little bit, just a little. She's still okay. And I'm just really proud of how she's like composed. And I'm like, I couldn't do that. And I felt embarrassed. Now we get into the cab. The cab driver clearly knows we're high as kites. Okay, but he kept saying that we're just intoxicated or drunk because I had a beer with me. He just didn't want to say we were stoned. But Rebecca was going through all of the phases of like being high. She went from uncontrollable laughter, like she was just laughing so much. So I was like, okay, I need to laugh too. So I was laughing with her. Then she went into like, why is this happening? What's going on? Like started crying and everything. And I think it was like a 35-minute cab ride, but it felt like 2 hours. We get to the hotel. We still had to pick up her bags. She was like, this is all messed up. The whole trip is ruined. We're going to lose our flight, blah, blah, blah. We had a little misunderstanding conversation, but then we recreated, support and all of that. So then we go to the airport the next day. We get the bags. We go to Cancun. Mexico was beautiful. I'm just trying to go not too long because we have 8 more minutes. Mexico was beautiful. We did meditation. We did an ice bath. We did all of that. We asked Farah if she was getting married, but she was like, no, there were 80 people on the trip with us. So she's like, the intention is just to serve the community, have breath work and workouts and all of those stuff. And then I asked her because, baby, do you want to show your hand.
Yeah, I think they already saw me. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Congratulations.
so yeah, I
Is
proposed
that
to
engagement?
it's an engagement.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we're engaged. So then I asked Farah, I'm like, okay, if you're not doing the wedding, I want to propose to Rebecca without disrupting the retreat. And we planned to do it on New Year's Eve. It was really cute. Rebecca had no idea that I was even proposing to her till I got down on one knee. And then she was like, "Oh, you're proposing. Oh, this is happening." So it was really cute. And then we came back, we celebrated. And I think Mexico, we didn't lose our shit in Mexico, no? Like nothing
No, we
happened.
were in peace.
We were in peace. It was beautiful. We ate healthy. We went sightseeing. You know, we spent money, but we didn't give money power. So we went sightseeing. We spent like about 100 euro just in cabs. We ate food. We pampered ourselves. It was really nice. It was a complete detachment from whatever judgment or belief. There was so much gratitude and beauty. Uh, yeah, it was beautiful. But then the last thing, just to wrap up, is when we were coming back, because again, the stress of travel kicked in. You know, we were taking the cab to the airport, and immediately Rebecca was like, "What if we get stuck in Madrid? What if like our flight is delayed and everything?" I check, I check Google and the flight number, and our flight was delayed for 3 hours. So that means we missed our connecting flight in Madrid. But then we get to Madrid, and then the hotel is covered by them. And, you know, but while we're trying to book everything, Rebecca is just like stressing out. And we
I just
just,
lost my shit in the airport.
yeah, we got into like a huge bitch fight at the airport. Um, yeah, but then, you know, because words were said, and we identified that when we are operating in fear, things come out uncontrollably. But I really do admire and I really do acknowledge Rebecca because she stayed in the conversation, as uncomfortable as it was for both of us. She stayed in the conversation. So, baby, I'm going to give you the floor for the next 3, 4 minutes, because that's me for being complete.
Actually, there is nothing much left. The only thing probably Hazel remembers from last time when I completely worried and scared about the jaguars and whatever. I haven't seen any of them though. I was still waiting for them, like they will show up at night or something, but they didn't. But it was just so like I was completely sure when I will think back, it will be just so funny how much I was scared and I judged and everything. And I remember I already judged the people I haven't met yet, and they were amazing. So I already made friendships there, and they were like beautiful souls. And we had like really nice spiritual experiences. We had the chance to even meet a shaman guy. So it was like so amazing. And it also like it was really interesting because because of probably the a lot of traveling and my work and everything, all my physical symptoms just showed up in Mexico. Like in heaven, I had my back cracked and I had back pain like for days, and I got sick and my veins were painful. So everything like in heaven, what could happen? But I was still pushing. I was like, no, I'm gonna be fine. And I healed myself and all the programs also. So it was so amazing. I loved the Mexicans as well. So I really hope we can go back. So yeah, I think we went through on all the steps in SIVEP, like from fear, judgment, and then
Detachment,
gratitude and
gratitude,
detachment. Yeah.
forgiveness. There was a lot of forgiveness there. And it was just beautiful. And
Yeah.
again, yeah, go ahead, baby.
No, sorry. But just I remember like Hazel, yeah, last time you said that you forgive for yourself, and they said, I don't believe in forgiving because it means that I don't improve or whatever. And I think I was not right. So I think it was completely made sense what you said, because now I understand, like, forgiving for myself, it doesn't mean that I cannot improve. It just means that I'm not harsh on myself and I try to understand myself. So that's it. I feel I'm completed.
You're completed.
I would love to say something.
Me too.
Of
The
course, of
the
course. Thanks.
the what ifs is actually a space of creating, and actually your story actually it shows that it's an act of creating. And I've experienced it in my life too. Whenever I do the what ifs, it's always creating awful stuff. So I stopped doing the what ifs. So I
Mm.
just thought that was really, really interesting because you actually, your story is the complete visual of what happens when you do the what ifs. And it was incomplete.
Mm.
Yeah, but actually, I didn't really mind that we stuck in these places, because, like, oh my gosh, we had a long trip. Like, okay, we stuck there. Forcefully, we had to stay, but it was still nice. I mean, even Madrid, when Zeshan was like, "Okay, I have a bad news," and I was like, "Okay, but we have to stay. It's okay. We will do sightseeing."
That
So,
was the power of detachment because we just
yeah,
surrendered. So yeah. I just want to get to Hazel if Hazel wanted to say something because we have a minute
yeah.
and 40 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to say, similar to what David said, like how you about the what ifs, and you guys were anticipating travel issues, and you manifested travel issues, and I was thinking, if you guys turn that around, instead of anticipating travel issues, anticipating amazing travel, smooth travel, then
Uh,
what would it be like? Because the travel issues manifested really powerfully. So if you change that into the other direction and manifested amazing smooth travel, I think you guys could do that.
The
Because
next time
yeah.
we go on a trip, we win the lottery for €1 million.
I think we manifested kind of the good things as well. Like, I mean, obviously bad things happened, and we were thinking of it as well. But we kind of manifested that we wanted to stay in Amsterdam and we wanted to stay in Madrid, and it happened. So, like, the way how it happened is different. But if we think of the positive thing, like, Zesha really wanted to go to Amsterdam, and they really wanted to go to Madrid. So both of the things happened.
Mm.
So that was
Ooh.
not really bad. Yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
so it says less than 1 minute.
It says less than 1 minute. So we are all complete. We're gonna do this again next week. Thank you for all being on the call and happy listening. Bye.
Thank you. Happy New
Thank
Thank
Year.
you.
you.
Bye.